So, let's get started. Oh, right. Dylan, check out your character sheet.
Check out my character sheet.
Well, more you're just your character. Character's got art now, boy. Yeah. All right. So, when we last left off, you departed from Elod and Baracus at the crossroads in the center of town to head south and go to the market district to find someone that would make handouts for your show later that night. You arrive at the market district in the south of town. A little further down, you can see the water, you can see ships docked, people going in and out, carrying things off ships. If you look a little past that water, like more toward you, you can see stalls, you can see a guild house with its sign waving in the wind.
You can't disenchant patches for a 1600 anymore.
Apologies. You walk through the big arch leading into the market district, and on this big arch it says Rolo Trading in big calligraphy words carved into the sign. It's a busy day.
Rolo? Like a candy?
Rolo, yes. Rolo as in candy. Sure. Yeah. Rolo Trading. And...
YOLO trading?
No, it's not supposed to be YOLO trading. It's Rolo Trading. So, when you walk in to the central district, you see lots of very festive decorations. Like something's going on. Like they're preparing for something. You also see lots of fruits and exotic goods. And it's just the hustle and bustle of a trading district. What do you want to do?
I want to look for someone who looks like they're selling parchment.
All right.
I want to.
You cut out, dude.
I want to go into the trading post place thing.
The guild house?
Yes. Rolo, the candy place.
Well, no. The Rolo Trading is just what the entire district's called.
I want to go into the district.
Okay, you're in the district, so... Okay, I guess you'll just go with Bjorvik because he's searching for parchment. So you walk in, and you hear all these people beckoning you toward their stand saying, "Oh, check out my goods," or like, hey, you look like a fine young man. Why don't you see what we're selling? You know, the usual sounds and of a...
I need to step away.
Okay. So, while you're going through the streets, you see someone just finishing setting up a kind of stage. It's not quite done yet, but they're kind of directing people to, you know, like raise poles and signs and artwork. And this district is very sizable. It goes on for a while, and you have no idea where you would find parchment in this place.
Can I, like, ascertain as to what kind of show is going to be going on at the stage that's being built?
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, it's got so as of now they just have a platform built, and people are standing on top of it with very exotic clothing, a lot of bright colors. Maybe they could be dancers. Maybe they could. I don't know. You don't really recognize the clothing. I mean, you could also roll for that. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of hard to ascertain.
Let me go talk to that guy who's building it.
Okay, so you walk over, and there's this dude that's hammering in some like wooden nails that it would be easy to take out and disassemble, and he's just working away.
I stroll up to him and I say, "Are you a good man? But who are you building this stage for?"
He looks up at you. This here is gonna be a showcase of sorts of the most wondrous of supplies and goods from faraway lands from Lady Fema Loren. Unfortunately, the show is not ready to start quite yet, but if you come back here in an hour or two, I'm gonna say, and then he just kind of hold on one second, and then kind of whispers in someone's ear, and then he just nods and was like, yeah, around an hour and a half, and the show will start. It'll be a showcase of magical goods, also some fine clothing, and a few other things that I won't ruin the surprise for, but all of it will be for sale, and but it'll also be entertaining. So that's kind of Lady Femia's shtick. She likes showmanship in her salesmanship.
Lady who? Lady what? Lady, say again?
Famia Loren.
How do you spell that?
Famialeren.
Famiaren.
Yeah, Famia Loren. Yeah, Loren.
And, so I'm still talking to this dude. Can you tell me more about this Lady Famia Loren?
Well, of course, she's an explorer of sorts. She goes all around Solaria looking for artifacts of the old world and goods that may be seen as unique in different parts of the world, and then she'll travel with them, sell them, showcase them, talk about the culture, the history. So think of her as an archaeologist and a businesswoman.
Any idea where I can find her?
She's getting ready for the show in the cart. And then he waves behind him, and there's this kind of old like a gypsy style wagon, like that has the overarching cloth over it. It's like, and she's not seeing anyone until the show, unfortunately, but come back when the show starts and there'll be plenty to see.
Thank you, sir, for your time. I do appreciate the information. Everything looks great.
Thank you very much. And he goes back to hammering away.
Is Tiny McPatterson back?
Yes, he is. You're back, correct, Bjorvik?
I'm back.
Yeah. You have no idea where to go.
Bjorvik, I'm interested in this lady. Lady Famia Loren. But I know we're here for your apartment, so I guess let's keep looking.
Alright, so I will go up to the nearest monger of some sort, or a huckster, and be like, Hello, I am searching for a printing press. Where can I find one?
He, so the man that you talk to, you go up to this man that's sitting by a stall. He has jewelry and rings and necklaces all out on display. And he's like, well, I don't know about a printing press, but I do know that there is a specialist in, I guess, copying papers, or what specifically are you looking for? Are you looking for, like, someone to copy books down for you, or flyers, or letter writing, or...
Flyer creation.
He kind of nods, and is like, I see, and he, like, leans out of his stall a little bit. Go down the road that you're on, around for, I'm gonna say, 100 feet, like, it's hard, because he's thinking about a way to phrase it, just because there's no blocks, it's just like stall by stall by stall. It's like, as soon as you cross the animal stall, there's this woman that's selling parrots and all kinds of other birds. Go past that stall, turn right down that street, and keep going straight, and you'll eventually see a sign that kind of looks like an open book, and that'll be the place.
All right, and I head in that direction.
All right. And yeah, he just turned around and was like, "Thank you," and then like as he was like, and like almost like he wanted to transition into a sales pitch, but didn't really get the time to, and then he just goes back. You keep walking down, you go to the bird shop, and people are still just beckoning you all throughout your walk. It's like, oh yes, come! Check out my fine weapons! Like, oh, these artifacts came from the north, very rare! And so on and so, and you just keep going. Turn right. Things start to get a little less busy the further you go down, because you're currently heading toward the north, and the further north you get of the district, the more the stalls seem to be scattered about, but you see a lot more decoration, because you start seeing like houses where people live, and you see like what do they call them, like very frilly, like, ribbons go, like looping around the stalls and houses, and lanterns all dangling from lines, and it isn't very long before you see the dangling book carved into a wooden plaque right next to not a stall, but a actual building, and the district is now mostly behind you, because you're starting to get toward the actual like log and wood houses and establishments, and less toward the tents that you've been seeing.
Okay. I head into the place.
All right, you walk in. A bell rings at the top, and there is one man that's talking to the business owner behind the desk. They both kind of nodding each other. They go, just one moment. And then they kind of go back to their conversation. They both kind of nod to each other, and then the man kind of leaves and has kind of a dark and sad look on his face as he walks out the door. Yes! Welcome to my establishment. What can I do for you?
Have I met you before? You sound familiar.
I don't think you have.
Okay. That's interesting. Anyway, I was curious if you could make flyers.
Flyers? Certainly. What kind of flyers are you looking to make, or are you... Wait, what?
Nothing.
I would like to know why why there are so many dogs and children in your shop.
Yes.
He kind of he looks around and kind of looks back up at you and is like, I don't know how you mean.
There's a dog right immediately to the right of us, but that's not important right now. I'm curious how much it costs to make flyers. Want to go make some flyers
And-
for a performance I'm doing at a place named The Place.
The place?
Out of character, The Place. I don't know what the place is called.
Okay. The Half Moon Inn.
The Half Gay Moon.
And I was like, performance! Yes! Well, now that is a, that is a welcome change of pace. I have been getting far too many requests to do missing persons illustrations. Anyway, neither here nor there. Are you looking for illustrations or big... What kind of design are you looking for? Because I charge 1 gold per flyer if you're looking for an illustration, because I do all of my copies by hand. If you're looking for a specific style of writing, maybe language, or what are you looking for? Can you be specific about what you want?
Just a large print.
A large print, okay. How many?
A large print.
Just 1 flyer.
Well, how much does it cost per flyer?
If you're just looking for writing and no decoration, I could do that for 1 silver.
For each one?
Well, if you're talking bulk, since bulk is my business, we have specials.
So do you do it all by hand, or do you have a press?
I do it all by hand.
Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, and then you...
No interest. I'll go find a crier instead. Thank you.
I don't think you're gonna find a printing press in this town, but
I agree. I think you're right. I'm just gonna go pay some children to go scream things up top for long seconds.
well, that seems like an interesting idea.
Probably work better than paying a silver for a flyer when it costs only 10 gold to stay there for the week, or whatever. 2 gold to stay there for the week doesn't seem quite worth it.
I don't know how much money you plan on making at this point. Very worth it.
At that point, I can make more money probably just by paying some poor children to go yell at the top of their lungs that there's shit going on.
Well, you do you. But
Alright.
I want to talk to this guy some more and inquire about those missing persons and stuff.
Oh, it's a trap. Everyone has the missing children's or wild beast or fancy performer person going on. It's all a trap.
Well, again, what would it mean?
You're kind of cutting in and out, Bryce.
I was saying, what would it trap me into? Like, what would be the point?
Spending a lot of time doing something when I'm busy.
Is there a way for you to turn down the
Yes.
the audio?
There is. If you go to the settings button, you scroll up to if you go to the music button.
Nope, that's perfect. You got it.
I'll be back.
Well, while he's gone, I'm still gonna ask this guy, this shopkeeper.
Okay, so Bjorvik just like, okay, thank you, and then it's like, oh, but, and then it's like, getting ready to write down his order, and then he says, thank you, goodbye, and it's like, your friend doesn't have very good social skills, does he?
He just used it twice. He didn't have it. But I'm curious about those 50 persons you were talking about.
May I ask as to if you're new in town?
I only just got here last night with the most recent ship that was supposed to come in. However, we crashed 3 miles down the coast.
Oh, that's horrible. I had not heard.
not the most fun experience. But anyway, back to those persons.
Well, I suppose if you're going to be staying here, it's worth noting that for the past, I want to say 8 months or so, people have been disappearing, children in particular, around the the southwestern district of the town. It's been unsettling, to say the least, and most of my business has been concerned parents and making illustrations that they described to me of children or some children that I knew, or... I mean, it's not all children, there's some adults, but if you want to see an example of my work, go to the notice board in the center of town. The crossroads, you can't miss it, and you'll see my work in bulk.
Hear that, Bjorvik? All those children you wanted to hire are probably being taken.
And that'll probably make them cost more.
Exactly, this guy might be a deal after all. Thank you, sir, for the information. I'll go have a look at your handiwork at the board that you're talking about.
Okay, please come back. I'm open during the day. Every day.
I'll let you know if I need any flyers.
Thank you. And then you just walk out?
Yeah, I think unless Dylan's got some more business here.
Oh, no business here. I can't believe they don't have a stinking printing press. What type of place is
I don't think this whole town has a printing press. Don't blame the man.
Don't they know how much better it is having to go whittle out those pieces of wood only once instead of having to go write it down a million times?
Well, maybe you should stay here and open up shop. You'd make a killing.
That sounds like a waste of
Especially
time.
with all these missing children.
Oh. You know, he's probably the one that's taking the children.
Me?
No, he's shopkeeper.
Oh, he took the children.
Yeah, he's making a killing making those signs.
Oh, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
I'll tell the constable our theory. But first, actually, I'm now going to go to the casino.
The casino.
It's like 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Can we swing by that notice board on the way?
Yes. Oh, I guess, did you want to visit Miss Mon? Miss Fun? Fondue?
In terms of, like, where we are...
Around 10 minutes has passed since you walked there.
Sure. So, like, is it feasible to go walk the notice board, walk to Miss What's-Her-Dick's cart, and then to the casino in a reasonable amount of time, or is that just a roundabout way?
Well, you would need to do a full loop because the casino's on the very southern end of town. It's like a cabaret.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna go check out. Is the notice board on the way?
The notice board is in the center of town. You are you're on the southwestern part of it.
So we'd have to go up to the center and then back down south.
Yeah, correct.
And so in this gal's cart, is that on the way?
The cart is back more toward the docks.
Well, in that case, I guess we'll just go to the casino.
The casino.
Okay. You actually walked by. The casino is kind of a hard building to miss. What you go down the main road that you took to get here when you were separated from Elod and Barakas. You walked down the road south, and the casino was this. You have a lot of these shacks and cabins and other houses, and then there's just this gigantic cabaret that spans on the very southern end of town, so it's kind of really hard to miss. You head back to the main road, through the back alleys, and until you hit the road, like, look up, you see the keep to the north, and then you figure that you must, like, that's the ways north, and then you turn back around, head south, make it to the casino in around, like, 40 minutes of walking. So, and there's this long staircase to go up to the door, and the door is currently closed.
Alright, well, on the way there, I'm shouting that there's a concert tonight at that half moon inn.
People are just... Am I actually... well, you're just shouting it just because?
Because it's the wonderful things I does.
Because there's going to be a concert, obviously.
Okay,
I'm self-promoting.
yeah, okay, let's,
Like, it's not like I'm shouting like I'm mad. I'm, like, making people, like, listen to me.
He's like the town crier.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Like,
let me...
Show tonight. Show.
All right. In your cries, you actually get you notice a good amount of people actually paying attention to you. Whether or not they're gonna come is, like, a whole nother thing entirely. But a lot of people heard you. Yeah, you are now in front of the casino, and there are these long, kind of transparent red curtains that are dangling down from the top to kind of give like a Middle Eastern-y kind of feel. The wood has illustrations and like carved into it, and the front of this building just looks magnificent and is definitely supposed to present a feeling of high class and luxury.
Is the door unlocked?
You walk up.
I open the door.
The door is locked.
I double knock on the door.
No answer.
Can I look around for another way in?
I look for a sign that says the hours of the establishment.
You look directly to your right. It says that it opens after sundown, like on weekdays.
What day is
I thought it was Saturday, actually, if I do recall.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned,
I-
time is illusion.
Yes.
Wait, is it Saturday? I'm confused.
I was making up shit.
Yeah,
That
he
was
was-
a joke.
He was just making up shit. He has no idea.
Okay.
He has no
Well,
idea
then.
what. He doesn't know what the date is.
So what time of day is it at this point?
It's
It's 10:40. It's 9:40 according to his math. 'Cause unless he added more time without telling us.
around. Yes.
Is the map up? All I have is
The map is not up. Yeah, let's give you some reference.
Well,
You are here.
Oh.
well, that's marvelous.
The casino is directly to the south.
Wait, but you said Rolo Trading was like a whole area.
Yes, that is that whole like left segment. I was not intending on actually ever showing you this because this is just for my personal reference, but I figured it's
I'm going to Theo's shack next. That's what I'm going.
no, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't.
No,
Yeah, you don't know Dick, and that's why I didn't want to show you this because
We're right here. I know exactly where he is.
shut your dirty whore mouth.
We're right here.
Okay,
Go up here.
this whole section is Rolo Trading.
Okay, I want to go.
Well, I decided I want to go here.
Shut up, Dylan. You don't. Stop trying to. I showed you a map for reference, and now you know.
Okay.
Alright, well, I'm want to go up
Dylan,
about 3 o'clock. Take a ride.
Shut up.
You fat fuck. This place isn't gonna open for another 10 hours. I say we go back to inquire with that lady.
Lady Fundu? Yeah. Sure, on the way we'll stop by the town,
The thing.
Toasteria.
The Toasteria?
No, the poster thing where you people put posters of
Oh, the poster thing. Is
yeah,
the poster thing even
the gallery of children. We walk
That
to
is
the
in the
gallery.
center of town. That is not on the way, and it would take around another 40 minutes to get there, and then another 40 minutes to get back.
What is this
It's only
stupid?
9:40. We have like 10 hours before this place even
That's what I'm
opens up.
saying. And when does Lazy Fondue perform?
She's gonna be performing in like 20 minutes.
Well then, I'm not going there fast. Fuck that.
Well, I don't know how long her performance is, but I would imagine she's gonna be up there for a while, and it's more about being there for the end that I wanted to be there for.
Then we'll go head over to see the Lazy Susan.
All right, to Lazy Susan.
Define who Lazy Susan is.
Lady
Lady
Famiella
Fondue.
Ren.
Okay. So, you go. Damn. All right. So,
We're walking right back.
yeah, you walk right back. You see the big roller trading sign, and you head in through the nice cobblestone path, and the once bare stage now has a nice draped ceiling above it. There is a big pile of miscellaneous things all like in the back, and people are starting to gather around, and you hear like 2 criers on the stage, one on the left, one on the right, beckoning people to come and check it out. It's like, show's about to start! Come and see the wondrous Lady Laren in her magnificent wares! You, sir, you look like you might... And so on and so forth.
In case you're wondering, Bryce, what a bear stage looks like, I put it in the chat. That's what a bear.
Lovely.
Silly bears. Okay. Is Famiella Ren not on stage then?
She is not, but the criers are talking about her being on stage in very shortly, and the crowd has grown to be around, like, there's around 20 rows of people, all being contained by all of these people wearing a similarly like bright outfits. Like, oh, you like don't go out into the walkways, stay here. We have this. Yeah.
Mom's calling. Sorry.
Well, I'm gonna snaggle my way to the front.
Okay. How do you do that?
Very gracefully. Not hitting people, I'm just kind of wiggling my way through because I'm tiny.
Okay, then roll me acrobatics. Because it is now getting, like, very compact. With your little halfling finesse, you dodge and duck through people, and like people are starting to bash into each other because they're trying to make room, and like, it's like, oh, what is that? And you see, and they're pointing to other things that are on the stage, and then you easily enough make it all the way to the front, where you now see the stage and all of its wondrous wares all on display.
Can I perceive value to any of particular of the items?
Sure, roll me perception. So, first thing that catches your eye is this big, like, it's hard to really describe it. It's like a machine. It has six like little hands keeping it up. It has 3 arms all holding these reversed sickle-shaped tips, and all of these spears while holding itself up, while its inverted pyramid self is pointing to the ground. Its 2 eyes are eye-like sockets are on the side of each side of the edge of the pyramid, and it's just it's in the background, just hulking over everything, not really moving. And you see lots of things that are illuminating a faint amount of light, and lots of gold. It's hard to tell if it's gold layered or if it's painted, but a whole lot of shine. And this is supposed to give off a feeling of wonder and just grab people's attention that walk by, just to grab their attention.
In this, I want to go look for child snatching people.
Roll me perception.
Are you just looking for suspicious characters? I see a 20 in there.
Okay.
Not what I meant to click on. I do apologize.
Roll again without doing that.
Fair. Perception.
So it's not a natural 20, it's a modified. But
no, but it's still really good.
Yeah, it's still real good. So, you see a lot of parents, children tugging on their parents' sleeves, like, "Oh, let's go over there, I want to see that shiny thing." And like, "Oh, what is that big thing in the back?" And then it's like, "Okay," and then they all go toward, the crowd. You see a lot of teenagers on their own, just kind of checking out what's going on. You can't. There are numerous different kinds of people that are watching. There's some people in tattered clothes. There's some people in really nice clothes. Wait, you recognize at least 2 people that were from the ship. 2 of the nobles that you left on the hillside with Roland are in the crowd near the front. But no one is currently kidnapping children.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
And by the way, while you were gone, Roland walked into the crowd and then finagled his way through. You don't really know where he went.
Oh. Did he go towards the front?
He did.
Did I not see him with my 20 perception?
No, because I'm
you
tiny.
you did not see him with your 20 perception.
No. Alright.
I'm too small and sneaky. But what's the dealio? Where's this chick?
Okay, as you're thinking that, the 2 people on the sides go toward the center and crack sticks that they were holding to beckon people toward, and frickin' a music starts to play in the back, and the sticks that they knock together now shoot out sparks into the air, and they start riding in the freaking sky these symbols and letters, and start like tossing them back and forth so that they create spirals, and they do this choreographed dance. And it isn't long before a crier comes on stage with this very big man. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you a glimpse into the world of the beyond. I give you artifacts from distant lands, from other planes of existence, from the forgotten kingdoms of this world. And, well, I don't bring it to you. Let's be honest, you're here to see the woman who made all of this possible. The explorer, the archaeologist, the historian. I give you Lady Famia Loren! And he raises up his hand to the ground and throws this bomb of smoke, and it just goes up in the air. And replacing him and the two people to the side, this woman starts like coming out with castanets and starts dancing to the tunes that are being played in the back. People give out a loud roar and applaud, and like seeing all of these people just doing this performance. And what is this perception roll for?
Don't worry about it. It wouldn't have counted for anything.
Okay. And from the future, tell me what you're rolling for.
It would. I mean, I was looking to see if I was able to see from afar.
Yeah, no. And she comes out and kind of signals her hand to stop, and then the music stops, and people, and the stage is now bare, and some of the things are covered by veils. Increase for Christmas. Why are you showing me this? Okay. So it's like, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to my humble establishment. I am so honored to be here in the town of Balhorn to talk with all of you and show you the wonders of the world. Now, and, people applaud. She bows, smiling. Now, I am aware that there is a festival coming up, and I will be staying here until that day is done, and be presenting my wares all throughout the week. However, I will be performing a extra special performance with the rest of my troupe right here on that day, so please come by again if you wish to see something even more marvelous. But that's enough about the future. Let's talk about... She snaps her fingers, and the big hulking machine in the back just twirls up its spears and then arches them up above him. Now, first, I would like to show you a device that can predict the marvels of your future. And then she beckons his assistants to come up with this podium, and they wheel it out in front of her, and she removes a cover that they had on it, and it reveals this big, illuminating green ball that has, and you can see it pretty easily, Roland. It's kind of like a black hole-ish kind of thing, just like circling within itself, just continuously turning. It's like,
man, so I wanna know if I recognize it, so I guess knowledge arcana and knowledge religion.
Well, so you try to recognize it. Leave the rolls to me, sir.
Or insight.
Roll
And insight.
Roll me arcana.
I'm at normal, right? I'm not advantage or disadvantage.
You're not yet, just normal. It looks like it looks like a really fancy version of some of those crystal balls that you've seen people use on the street. And
do I have any insight of what it could be, though, based off of what the nonsense that they've said? Here's an insight roll.
that would be more of a history roll.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you've heard, like, okay, stop. Bryce.
I was trying to steal Kylan's cards.
Okay. So, you aren't really familiar with the history of this continent, so it's hard to really tell.
Okay, that's fine then. I'm not wasting your time.
And she walks up all around it and sort of does these things with her hands and for this, I'm going to need, and she looks down, you, sir, and points directly at Roland. Why don't you come up to the stage? And people start looking down at you and start applauding. Come, and the assistants kind of come out to the front and open up the way and lift up the velvet rope, and it's oh, come on.
I'm going to skip my way up to the stage.
And I embarrassedly cheer and yell his name and say, "Go, Roland! You got this. Don't let your short stature ruin this for you."
Alright. She bends down toward you and it's what is your name, sir?
Call me Roland.
Roland. Everyone, give Roland another hand for coming up on stage, and they all applaud again.
I applaud and say, "You made it up the stairs, your greatest weakness."
Now, sir, are you familiar with the arcane arts by chance?
I don't know. Am I? Good question.
Yes, you're goddamn.
You're a sorcerer.
You're goddamn right you are. Regardless of whatever that thing says.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Even I know this answer.
Yeah.
I dabble.
Forgive me, but I could deem as such by your presence, I'll call it. I don't suppose
Pretty.
This chick is very pretty. She has long black hair. Her clothing is showing just the right amount of skin. Very.
I have a question.
Yeah. What?
I have to know about what she looks like. Because I have to go to jiu-jitsu right now.
Alright.
How big is her smile?
She has a very nice smile. Think girl, yeah, Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
God damn it, Kyle. Alright,
Yep.
I gotta go.
Bye.
First, this was fun. I was here for 45 minutes to an hour. Let's go.
Okay.
Yep. And
I gotta go soon too, so.
My character cheers and annoys Roland.
Okay, sounds good.
okay.
Alright.
And so this will be a perfect segue. Bye. And so she takes down since the pedestal goes a little above your head, she picks up the ball and that is on a pillow. Puts it down toward you. Would you please put your hand on the ball? Both hands, please.
I do so.
Okay. The second that you put your hands on this thing, you feel something is cycling in and out of you, kind of a bit of you is being poured into this thing, but then something else is coming out.
Can I tell if it's more coming out than going in? Can
Sure.
I tell is it coming from the orb or is it coming from somewhere else?
It's coming from the orb.
Okay.
It doesn't feel bad. It just feels like tingly.
Okay. Is it a familiar feeling at all, or is it totally
yeah, roll me Arcana. You felt this feeling whenever you have dealings with magic. But other than that, it's kind of hard to tell.
Alright, I'll just keep my hand there and let it do its thing.
Alright. Fuck me. Okay, perfect!
Over time.
Perfect. So, you put your hands on the orb, and then this thing starts cycling in and out of you, and then you start to... And then she starts... So he's like, I will now, use this to peer into your future and possible past. Forgive me, this thing is unpredictable at... And then as soon as she says that, you get this jolt. A familiar feeling of that you got when you were losing control in your shows, like a surge that you try to pull back. And
can I pull my hand away from the orb at this point?
Okay, you do that. You pull back, and your hands start to surge with arcane energy between each other, and it's just and then people start she's gets back and she starts taking a step back. It's and upon as soon as the audience notices that she's taking a step back, they notice that this isn't normal. It's what the hell? What's going on? And then people start talking to each other, and the front row starts to back off a little bit, and the freaking arcane energy that's coursing between your hands is overwhelming, and then it just shoots out.
Shoots out? Can I direct it? Can I point it up?
Let's read this. Nope, you cannot. You just your arms just come together like a magnet and then shoot out like a bullet from a gun, and you frickin' in a large blast radius just emanates from you, not making all of the stalls rock back and forth, and the people kind of gasp, and a few of the children scream, and some of them walk back, and you just get this feeling of vulnerability, and everyone else.
I want to hide behind the giant robot.
Okay, so you as soon as this happens, you just brought down, and then you just run to the to the robot, and come on, where are you? There you are. And
I have if I'm behind the robot, I have that perk, that naturally stealthy perk.
Yeah. So you walk behind the robot, and then it's that the robot's leg sort of twitches as soon as you get near it, and its spears fall to the edge, and you fall next to you with a clank, and the performers backstage all kind of see you, notice these things, these spears dropping to the sides, and looks, and then it starts twirling its spears all around, and you're still just underneath this thing by its legs, and
I suppose I should probably no longer hide behind this thing if it's starting to spin like a windmill.
Okay, so what's your AC? Actually, no. Roll me a dex saving throw. So, you hop off the stage. You try to hide behind this thing's leg, and then people start
wait, Kai.
Yeah.
That was a.
Oh yeah, that wasn't that one. You can re-roll it. Right.
Yeah, I can re-roll that.
Yeah. So roll again.
Hold on, sorry, I closed my thing.
Lovely.
Oh my god. Okay.
So you jump off, and then people start backing away, looking up at this thing that you are now hiding behind. And then it lifts up its foot and just slams it down right where you're standing. Plus 3 to hit. Okay. Each 5 feet. Okay. It rolled in that one. So as it puts its foot down, you was like, ah! And then kind of move to the left, and it sort of looks down at you. Its eyes that were now like giving off like no particular menace is now glowing a very bright red, looking at you.
Can I shout to what's her face?
Yes.
I want to shout, just like, hey, is this supposed to do this?
And she's like, no! This isn't supposed to happen. Hey, stop! She's sort of like waving her hands, trying to get its attention. It's not paying attention to her at all. And with that, it is going to give out this mechanical sound as it looks down at you and takes out all of its 3 of its spears and starts pointing them at you. And that is where we're going to end the session.
Okay, cool.
And that's where we're going to pick up on Sunday. Okay,
sounds good. I'm pretty hilarious that we rolled 2 ones and a 2. All right next to each other.